You wrote a piece, Wes, about what the Biden team may do to enable the enemy like Iran. Tell people about it as you start seeing these names like Jake Sullivan, Joe Biden's pick, if he becomes president, to be national security advisor. This is a guy who was an architect of the Iran nuclear deal, which has been highly criticized. As Stan said, he was likely chosen for this position because you don't have to be confirmed.
Joe Biden is tipping his hand with people like him, like Amos Hochstein, who really tipped his hand as far as the geopolitical plans for the Middle East and for Iran going forward if Joe Biden assumes office in January. It's going back to the days of the Obama-Biden administration, Obama-Biden 2.0, where our allies like Israel could not depend on us, and our adversaries like North Korea and Iran did not fear or respect us. And the most significant tipping of the hand at this point, which came out last week, is that Hochstein stated that in a Biden administration that they would do one of two things. They would either immediately re-enter the JCPOA with Iran, the Iran nuclear deal, or what he referred to as JCPOA minus, where, get this, if I had not read it and read the statement, it would be hard to believe. And that is they might go in, lift all sanctions on Iran in exchange for Iran not getting rid of the violations of the nuclear deal they've done over the last 3 years, but simply stopping some of them in exchange for lifting sanctions and reaching out diplomatically. Iran, is a threat not just to the region, it's a threat to the world. So Hochstein is talking about either re-entering it carte blanche or JCPOA minus, where they actually lift sanctions and Iran doesn't have to back off the progress they've made. They simply have to stop. Of course, in addition to that, the whole Middle East and the peace and progress there is up in the air as well, because Hochstein and others in the Biden team are now talking about going back in and putting the Palestinian issue at the heart of all diplomacy in the Middle East. There is a reason that the Arab nations have been lining up with the Abraham Accords and making normal relations with Israel, and that is because they are tired of sitting on the sidelines and having their own national security threatened because they can't solve the Palestinian issue. They've been detaching their safety and security and their economic interests in exchange for what has been for decades placating Palestinian leaders who are involved in corruption and terrorism. All of this is, elections do have consequences. These are frightful potential consequences, Jordan, under the Biden administration. It will impact negatively all the peace, the progress that's been made in the Middle East. It will embolden and enable Iran if they go through with this.